Hey, this is Rick from 4 Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. I've had the awesome opportunity to work with a few incredible groups of people, or I've been part of, I've been part of some really great friend groups with some really great people. On the flip side of that, I've also been a part of working groups where there was some toxic people in there, and it was just a horrible experience. And I've been a part of some friend groups that had some toxic people in them as well. And I've even had personal friends that I've kept around that were quite toxic. What do we do? Like, how do we guard ourselves from toxic people? How do we even identify toxic people on the way toward us so we can do something not to let them in too deeply? Well, that's what this video is about. This video is based on my interpretation of Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 to 19. And these words of wisdom have something to tell us about toxic people. Proverbs 6, 16 to 19. There are 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 things he detests. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill the innocent, a heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness who pours out lies, a person who sows discord in a family. Yes, I am sure we have all had our share of experiences with toxic people, either in our work culture, maybe in a friend group, maybe a personal friend that we didn't spot soon enough, maybe even in a close relationship, maybe with a boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe even with a spouse. I don't know. Okay. So I think that what I have today, right from this proverb here, are 7 signs of a toxic person that you want to avoid and that you may actually want to cut out of your life. And stay tuned for the takeaway. I think I've got an awesome takeaway for us. Okay, 7 signs of a toxic person that you may want to cut off or just may want to make sure you completely keep out of your life. First of all, sign number 1, no respecting authority. The text says haughty eyes. You know, for the longest time, I had no idea what the word haughty is. It must be like some kind of old English, like older than me, and I'm getting kind of up there. Haughty eyes, it's an expression that kind of means that you see no authority outside of yourself. Now, this is from the Proverbs, so namely it's speaking against not seeing God as the authority. Almost having this idea that God means nothing to you, you're even greater than God, you call your own shots, make your own rules. This is haughty eyes. The sign, I would say, of a toxic person is someone who has no respect for authority. They see themselves as the prime authority. They see others as so underneath them. Looking at this verse, the phrase haughty eyes, it kind of reminds me of someone who might score a little too high on narcissism. You know, somebody who thinks that they're high above anybody else. Somebody who thinks that nobody can reach their level, and they look down on other people. And if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they may say something like, could you just work a little harder? Could you just get your act together so we can have an intelligent conversation? Would you just do better so we can finally connect? You are the reason everything is going wrong in my life. You are the reason why. I don't know why I put up with you. Something like that. Narcissists basically believe that they're above everybody else, but there's this emptiness on the inside that they're in denial of, that they don't want to acknowledge. When you spot someone who has no respect of authority, that's a warning sign that there's some kind of toxicity in this person, and you may want to shy away from bringing that person in too deeply. Because if you do bring that person in too deeply, they may not even recognize the authority that you have of setting your own boundaries. That's right. When someone does not respect authority, chances are they're going to have a hard time at recognizing your authority over putting up your boundaries and saying, wait a minute, this is healthy for me. You stay over there. I'm going to stay here. They can't respect that. Okay, that's the first red flag. Second red flag. Second warning sign of a toxic person. Consistently lying. And the text just flat out says a lying tongue. Like, think about what this does to how people perceive you if you are the one always lying. If you're the one always lying, then the people around you would have really no idea about your personality. Your personality is hidden behind the lies that you tell. That genuine part of you, that good part of you, that part of you that people wants to connect with. If you're lying all the time, that becomes a gateway to people who really want to see who you are. That's what a lie is. A lie is kind of a smokescreen. A lie is this kind of curtain in between you and everybody else. When you see people consistently lying, you got to wonder if you really know that person at all. They're hidden behind this curtain of lies. You can't trust them. Of course they're toxic. Why are they toxic? Because you have no idea who they are. That's the trouble with lying. Their personality, their real selves are hidden behind that mask of unrealness that they're creating in front of you. Here's warning sign number 3 that you may be confronted with, dealing with, engaged with a toxic person. Showing no mercy. Now, this is my summary of the text that says, hands that kill the innocent. I have no one in my social circle, in my neighborhood, that kill the innocent. There's no cold-blooded murderers of any degree, that I surround myself with. So what do I do? How do I interpret this in a way that's kind of meaningful for us? I mean, yes, I can just say, don't kill people. All right, meaningful. And that's true. Please don't kill people. And if you see people killing people, don't be friends with those kinds of people. But more than that, though, we actually see people who do show no mercy. And they may not be killing someone, but they may be trampling upon them. And I've seen this in the workplace. People just with this uncompassionate, unforgiving, uncaring heart, just pushing down people when they can to get their own way. Maybe a little narcissism, maybe a little lack of empathy, who knows, just a mean-spirited person, who knows. If you are surrounding yourself with people who show no mercy, then the deal is there is nothing you can do to make them happy. There's nothing you can do to please them. As a matter of fact, if somebody is just low on mercy and would prefer to, kick people when they're down, tease people when there's something that's going wrong in their life, and gloat about how much better they are, and showing no mercy, what's going to happen is if your effectiveness weakens, if you lose the ability to make that person happy, if you lose the ability to have fun with that person, you're going to be their next target. As soon as you run out of their good graces and it doesn't go deep and you do something that's wrong, they're coming at you. Anybody who lives life without the discipline of forgiveness, they're right on the edge of lashing out against you. So if you find that you have met someone who has a very poor way of showing mercy, doesn't like to show mercy at all, holds on to unforgiveness for lots of reasons, hold unforgiveness, they might be a toxic person. That might be somebody that you don't want to bring too closely into your friend circle, or you may want to push them out just a little bit, because you deserve some grace. We all deserve some grace. We make mistakes all the time. We want people in our social circle who will show us some mercy. Sign number 4, planning someone's pain. Like duh, right? The text says, a heart that plots evil. I wish I didn't see this, but I do. There's been a couple of places where I have worked, namely in my younger years. As I have gotten a little bit older, I see this less, I guess, because of the group that I travel with. But, we see it all around us still, people who actually plan someone's pain. Either they want to push them out of the workplace, they want to take away their piece of the pie so that it doesn't quite rain on them, but it only rains on other people instead, raining being the money rain. I've seen people who have plotted together for someone else's pain, or to take a benefit away from someone, or to kick somebody out of a job, or to hurt them in their eyes of their family members. This isn't fun. You don't want this kind of person in your social circle. You do not want to be running with these kind of people, because that's the culture that they're creating around themselves, is pain plotters. And people are going to get back at that. If you're the kind of person that plots how to make someone experience pain and to push someone down, then when they rise up, they're probably going to push back against you, because people don't stay down forever. People get back up on their feet. Yeah, particularly in Canada, we can get back up on our feet. We can find a new career. We can find new friends. We can find a new place to live. Not a good idea. Someone who goes out of their way to create a strategy to hurt someone is not someone you want to bring in close, because you could very well be their next target. Fifth warning sign that you may be dealing with someone who is toxic. They're excited to break the rules. The text says, feet that race to do wrong. Now, you know what? I get it. It is actually fun to break the rules sometimes. As a teenager, I worked at Circle Square Ranch, a camp, and I liked breaking the rules, but for me that meant I would sneak out of my room at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Maybe I would go into the kitchen and grab like a snack, or maybe I would have a can of shaving cream and I'd go into somebody's room and I'd shaving cream their face. And that was fun. Sometimes it's fun to break the rules, but as a habit, I don't race toward that. Particularly the older that I get, I don't race toward that. If you find somebody racing to break the rules, what happens is that safety net of protection around you, where you're no longer going to be in trouble with the police, where you have a safe and secure family life and home, and you don't have to look over your shoulder seeing that anybody's coming back to get you or retaliate against you. You lose all that. If you're the kind of person that races to do wrong, what you're actually doing is you're messing up your own safety. You're messing up your own quietness and peace in life. And you're going to be living a life where you have to be looking over your shoulder all the time, high anxiety, high running. Not a good idea. Not somebody that you want to bring into your life, because if they like to break the rules, they're going to break your rules too. And they're probably not good. And they're probably going to have a hard time recognizing your boundaries and living according to your boundaries. They're going to break your rules also. Not someone you want close to you. Number 6, assassinating reputation. Obviously, if you find somebody who likes to assassinate reputation, not a good person to bring in. The text says, a false witness who pours out lies. Ugh, this is so painful. When someone can't use their fists to punch as a sign of aggression, what's their go-to? It's either gossip or innuendo or reputation assassination. That's a horrible kind of aggression. It is absolutely aggressive. Assassinating reputation is absolutely aggressive. And I've experienced it. It's horrible. You've probably experienced it too. People who say unkind things about you that aren't true, they gossip about you, and you show up into social circles, you show up into work, and people are just they're frowning at you, or they're creating distance from you. Not very good. This is not the kind of person you want in your social circle. Just because this person might not be targeting you, and you're kind of going along with them to target somebody else's character assassination, reputation assassination, they can easily turn on you too. It's there's no loyalty. Not a good idea to have this person in your social circle. And finally, number 7, sabotaging relationships. The text says, a person who sows discord in a family. I can't imagine why. Like, family is one of my highest values. I love my wife, love my kids. I still schedule my life around my kids, around my wife. It's still one of, I think it's probably under Jesus my highest priority, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I schedule seeing clients around my kids, around my wife's schedule. My whole day, my whole month, my whole calendar is scheduled around my value around family. So to consider, to think, to see, to know that there are people who intentionally sow discord in a family, it just absolutely breaks my heart, because family is so sacred, it's so special. We can break a lot of things in life. We can maybe lose a job, we can maybe break a car, break something that we love. If you break your family, that's really hard to get back, if you ever do. And family is one of those things that should be able to stick with, hopefully, can stick with you through life. Do something to break your family, that's not easily recoverable, if it's recoverable at all. So if you spot someone who is in the habit of doing things to sow dissent in their own family, to make it hard for their family to keep them in it, that's a warning sign that you have a toxic person on your hands. And you may not want to bring them into your closest social circle, because they will be sowing dissent into your close social circle also. And it will very likely also be affecting you. Okay, these are the probably the kind of points that clearly these are signs of toxic people, clearly, and I don't have to flesh those out too much for you to know that these are good signs of toxic people. But here's the takeaway, okay? Here's what this means to us. This text is more than just telling us what people to avoid, what people we might want to cut off. It's also showing us the kind of person that we don't want to be. In order for us to show up in life and have a good life and create the safety around us and have a life of peace, have a life of prosperity, where we don't have to be looking over our shoulders, that we're being hunted, that the police are out to get us, that our family doesn't want us to live among them anymore. These are the kinds of things that we want to inspect in ourselves to make sure that we're rooting them out of us. In what way are we not respecting authority? In what way are we constantly lying? Is there ever a time when we're showing no mercy to the lowest person, maybe in our family, to the lowest person in our workplace, to the neighbor that nobody else likes? Or do we ever plan to do bad to anybody else? Are we excited about breaking the rules? Are we right now gossiping about someone in order to harm their reputation? Are we sabotaging relationships? Are we intentionally making somebody angry at us or angering someone for the point of just kind of pushing them away and ending the relationship? The ultimate fix for weeding out toxic people in your life is to weed out the toxicity in yourself. Because like-minded fellows flock together. If you're this kind of person, if any of this is showing up in your life, there's a chance that you're going to attract that kind of person to you. So one of the best ways to weed out toxic people is to make sure that you're not a toxic person yourself. All right. I hope this is enough for us to talk about this Sunday on Zoom. We meet at 1:30 p.m. and also 6 o'clock p.m. Remember, next week, that video, we're going to start a summary of the Old Testament, an Old Testament survey starting with Genesis. I'm not going to have a specific text for us to talk about, so if you have a chance to skim through Genesis, that'd be a good idea. Next week's video is just going to be beginning that summary of the Old Testament. Okay, that's it from me to you for now. Would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? Would you also ask for the link, 1:30 p.m., 6 o'clock p.m., for community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. I'll see you next time.